Some people are slowly destroying themselves, trying to be good Christians. They keep saying yes when they are exhausted, keep showing up where they are constantly wounded, keep carrying people God never asked them to carry. And somewhere along the way, you may have started believing that boundaries are selfish, that needing space means you are cold, that protecting your peace means you are unloving. But that is not what Scripture teaches, because even Jesus walked away from crowds. Even Jesus rested. Even Jesus limited access. And maybe you are not failing God because you feel overwhelmed. Maybe your soul is simply tired from caring too much for too long. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Guard your heart, not harden it, not isolate it, guard it. Because your heart is the wellspring of your life, and if you leave the gates open to everyone, eventually your peace disappears. Many people today are emotionally exhausted because they confuse love with unlimited access. But wisdom knows when to close the gate. You are allowed to protect what God placed inside you. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to your energy, your emotions, or your peace. Some people only know how to take, and after every interaction you feel drained, heavy, anxious, spiritually tired. But guilt keeps whispering. Good people stay available. No, healthy people learn discernment, and discernment is biblical too. But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Think about that for a moment. People constantly needed him. Crowds followed him everywhere. There were always more problems to solve and more people asking for his attention. And still, Jesus stepped away. That is important. Because many people today feel guilty for needing rest. You may feel guilty for turning your phone off, for taking time alone, for needing distance from people who constantly drain your energy. But even Jesus withdrew from crowds, not because he lacked love, but because constant access drains the soul. You do not need to feel ashamed for needing space. Sometimes distance is not rejection. Sometimes it is wisdom. Sometimes it is peace. Sometimes it is preservation. Another difficult truth for many believers is this: forgiveness does not mean unlimited access. In Matthew 18, Jesus teaches that harmful behavior should be addressed directly. And if the behavior continues, the relationship changes. That matters deeply. Because many people have confused forgiveness with tolerating repeated pain. But forgiveness and trust are not the same thing. You can forgive someone and still recognize that they are not safe for your peace. You can love someone and still choose distance. Some people apologize without changing. Some people continue harmful patterns while expecting unlimited access to your life. And the moment you finally create a boundary, they accuse you of changing. But accountability is biblical too. You are not ungodly for recognizing repeated harm. Trust is rebuilt slowly through consistency, honesty, and changed behavior. Galatians 6 teaches something important about responsibility. The Bible tells us to bear one another's burdens. But later, it also says, for each one should carry their own load. There is a difference between helping someone through a difficult season and carrying responsibilities that belong to them. Some burdens are heavy life moments like grief, loss, tragedy, or emotional pain. In those moments, people genuinely need support. But personal growth, healing, emotional maturity, and daily responsibility are different. And many people become emotionally exhausted because they spend years carrying problems that were never theirs to carry. You are not responsible for saving everyone. Some burdens were never assigned to you by God. There are people who do not actually want healing. They want comfort without change, support without accountability, access without responsibility. And boundaries often reveal that very quickly. When you finally begin setting healthy boundaries, some people may become uncomfortable. Not because you are wrong, but because your boundaries interrupt the version of you they became comfortable benefiting from. That realization can be painful, especially when you spent years believing that overextending yourself was love. But healthy boundaries do not destroy healthy relationships. They reveal unhealthy patterns. You are not becoming cold or selfish because you need peace. You are learning how to care for others without abandoning yourself in the process. So if you have been feeling guilty for protecting your peace, for stepping back, or for finally saying no to things that continue to wound you, remember this. Even Jesus had boundaries. And boundaries are not the absence of love. Sometimes they are the protection of it. What boundary did you finally stop feeling guilty for? And have you ever noticed that some people became uncomfortable the moment you stopped overextending yourself? If this message spoke to you, share your thoughts in the comments. And if you're trying to build a quieter, healthier, and more peaceful walk with God, subscribe to the channel. This space is for people learning that rest, discernment, healing, and boundaries can all be biblical too.